Today's story comes more or less straight out of the Avengers comic, issue 21. As we begin, the team really needs something to fight because they're bored enough that they're starting to fight each other.
Hawkeye, hands off. Simmer down, Glamour Pants. I'm just changing a crummy fuse. But you know the rules. Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark. Okay, so he lends us his townhouse rent-free. That doesn't make you his official snoop, Grandpa.
Hawkeye spent a lot of time resenting Captain America, both for his fame and for his natural leadership. He had trouble getting past the fact that Cap was a living relic of a bygone age and could still do the stuff. Once again, I have to mention that at this point, we know almost nothing about Hawkeye, not even his real name. We know he was a circus performer who decided to make a name for himself, fell under the Black Widow spell, and turned bad. Eventually, he realized that was the wrong path and switched and joined the Avengers. In the last story, we learned that the swordsman trained him but turned on him when Hawkeye caught him stealing the day's receipts. The other thing we did already know about him, the thing that's really manifesting today, he has a bit of a temper.
I'm warning you, you overrated has-been. I've been itching for a chance to change that part of your hair.
No, Hawkeye, don't.
Rats. I'm going out for some fresh air.
Good idea. Come on, Cap.
Oh, dear, why are we always getting into arguments lately? Because my spell of evil is working, Avengers.
And that temper is something the Enchantress can work with. I almost laughed out loud when I found out that both Marvel and DC had a character called the Enchantress, and as far as I know, no lawsuits ever happened. This Enchantress is from Asgard, and she works for Loki. Originally, she made trouble for Thor at Odin's behest. Odin was on his usual kick about Jane Foster, so the Enchantress was supposed to seduce Don Blake and make him stop thinking about Jane, while her partner, the Executioner, was supposed to eliminate Jane. It didn't work, and Odin exiled them both to Earth, where they joined Zemo's Masters of Evil. They went their separate ways after Cap killed Zemo, and she has a new partner now.
They are doomed, Power Man, especially Captain America.
What a waste. I could finish them with power. Why all this sorcery?
Because united the Avengers are strong. But they will not be united long. Come, it is time to begin the attack of the Enchantress.
Marvel had more than one character named Power Man, and most people think of Luke Cage when they hear the name. But Power Man was the second hero name that Luke Cage gave himself. His comic was originally called Luke Cage, Hero for Hire. He was an ex-con who gained superpowers and decided to call himself Cage after the place where he had spent so much of his life. For reasons that I don't remember, he changed and started calling himself Luke Cage Power Man, but this guy had the name first.
Up there! Look!
Is that for real? Look at the size of it.
It's 30 feet high.
And coming right at us. But there's something unreal about it.
Such as, how did it get there? Why didn't anybody call the police or even the Avengers when they saw it lumbering through the streets?
It's real enough to be stopped with a blast arrow. My arrow! It went right through him.
But it didn't go through that car. Looks like physical attacks won't hurt it.
My hex power will stop it.
He doesn't even feel it.
Okay, Wanda, did you hear what I just said about physical attacks? What part of what you did isn't physical?
Stay back. I want to prove something. I'm guessing my shield will go right through him, too.
What happened?
Cap just threw his shield umpty 11 miles that way, and now he has to go find it. That's what happened. Nobody but they saw that thing. As far as anybody can tell, the Avengers have gone on a destructive rampage for some reason.
Ha! Look at them, Power Man. Trying to blame a monster conjured up for their eyes alone. And even after they've explained, the damage they've done will still be a stain upon their record.
Power Man would rather put some bloodstains on their uniforms, but she keeps telling him his turn will come. When Zemo was trying to come up with ways to kill Captain America, he created his own superpowered man whom he called Wonder Man. This guy was supposed to destroy the Avengers, but he relented and saved them instead. In retaliation, Zemo cut him off from a chemical that not only maintained his powers, but kept him alive, and we watched him die while the Avengers stood by, powerless to help. No, I'm not going to talk about the retconning because it's irrelevant. Zemo realized the mistake of making his man dependent on the substance, so he created another super guy. One of my favorite exchanges, though I can't remember if he was talking with Zemo or the Enchantress, was when they discussed his name. He had the power, he had the costume. The other person said, "Now you need a name." He said, "I've got a name, it's Eric Yostin." The other person just said, "Surely you jest," and named him Power Man. When he saw the Enchantress, it was love at first sight, and here they are.
Cap, I've tuned in a saboteur reporting to someone. He's tampering with the 8th Avenue subway tracks.
There are just minutes between those trains. Quicksilver, we'll follow you. You've got to use your speed.
Right, Cap.
He gets there and finds the tracks torn up. There's an empty runaway train bearing down on the damaged spot.
I've got to stop it.
Hurry! The other Avengers are coming.
I still say I could clobber them all, hand to hand. Look, Quicksilver's hurt.
We've got to stop that train.
Not to worry, Hawkeye has another blast arrow.
Somebody knocked me out, Cap. From behind.
The Avengers are running wild!
We had to stop that train, somehow, to save Quicksilver's life, and to keep the engine from hitting the broken rails.
What broken rails?
Cap had thought about throwing his shield at them to see if they were illusions, but it took him half a day to locate the blasted thing last time, and he wasn't about to do that again. It was bad enough that when he found it, some kids were using it as home plate, and he had to wait until the game was over.
The Avengers Emergency Fund is emptied by a staggering bill for all the train damages.
Where's Tony Stark with his checkbook? They've figured out that the Enchantress is doing this, and the goal is to discredit them. Cap wants to know why. Hawkeye doesn't care.
And with old Winghead still in command, she figures the Avengers are easy pickings. Now, Hawkeye...
No, Cap. We can't waste our energies fighting among ourselves.
Fighting. He knows better than to tangle with me.
Does he now? Let's test that.
Why, you... Cap, don't. Stay out of this, Pietro. Yeah, it's my fight. Anytime, loudmouth. You asked for it. Here's where the Avengers get a new leader.
Oh, no. No, stop. Cap, Hawkeye. Look, it's a court order. Because of the things that have happened, we've been ordered to disband the Avengers.
That brought them down hard, and there's not much they can do about it.
If we continue working together, we'll be defying a legal court order. We'd become outlaws.
Yeah, for services rendered, you get a kick in the teeth. You can have it, kiddies. I'm bowing out.
He and Pietro decide it's all the fault of Cap's lousy leadership, and suddenly Captain America has the whole mansion to himself. Jarvis is off today, so he's even reduced to making his own lunch, and they appear to be out of jelly.
When does it get to be a fight, Gorgeous? Do I move in on him now?
No. Even with your great strength, Power Man, your chances of defeating Captain America will be more secure if I destroy his spirit first.
I'm glad my wife has more confidence in me than she has in him, but she's right. He's a bit like the Hulk in that he relies on brute strength and hitting stuff/people. Captain America is strong, but he's also an incredible athlete and tumbler, and he can move fast enough that Power Man couldn't lay a hand on him, and all the while his shield is going clang, clang, clang on Power Man's head.
Hello? Hello? Who's calling? Uh-oh, Enchantress.
Hang up now.
Are you afraid to speak? Turn off that mumbo-jumbo, or I'm hanging up.
'Twill be a wasted effort, Captain America. My sorcery will follow you in every flash of light. Even a mere glint of moonlight will burn into the secret recesses of your tired mind.
Just keep talking, lady.
That thing is supposed to trace the call, but he's not listening to what she's saying. He should have.
Not quite. Unless, from these few scattered coordinates, the computer can come up with the answer. The lights. Those sounds again. No. Her sorcery's not going to get me.
It already has. Every light that he sees sends his mind into turmoil. She told him when she's done, he'll crawl to her on his knees begging for relief.
No. Never. I'll find her, but not on my knees.
That's good. Walking on your feet is much faster and less painful. Now that she has him on the edge of losing his mind, they can deal with the other Avengers.
What the? What gives with that cookie crow? Strange. Something tells me I should follow that bird.
He hasn't eaten since he left Avengers HQ, and it looks tasty. He follows it to an old mansion.
One of Cap's gloves. Huh?
Cap makes his gloves out of genuine frog skin. Obviously, that was a brand new glove.
So it is the Enchantress. Come on, open up in there. Welcome, Avenger, to your funeral.
Hold it, big fella. You just trot out the Enchantress.
Don't worry, Junior. I'll take you to her right now.
What happened to the bow? Why didn't Hawkeye fire the arrow? Why do I get the feeling we left out something important between panel 26 and panel 27? He squeezes Hawkeye into unconsciousness.
See? I told you he'd come to. In time for your show, Princess.
Show?
Captain America's final ordeal. Fighting and failing to escape the deadly spell I have placed him under. But I weary of his stubbornness. Go get him, Power Man!
At last.
Hawkeye is starting to suspect that the Enchantress might be behind all the fuss and feathers he's been causing at the Avengers.
The lights, the sound. Stop it, I can't see. I can't think. I can't bleed anymore.
Sometime later, they're still dragging the river trying to find his body. Another costumed character calling himself Power Man says, I tried to help him, but I couldn't get to him in time. Everyone agrees that Power Man is a hero for at least trying.
Power Man?
Strange. The door ajar, and things scattered about.
What happened here after we left him? Wanda, do you suppose Hawkeye returned and they fought?
Look, Cap was using a tracer. Someone must have called.
And here, on the computer, he was trying to pinpoint the call.
It must have been the Enchantress.
She put some kind of spell on Cap and they weren't there to help him. Wanda is drowning in guilt. The Enchantress is very unhappy.
Even in death, he cheated me. I wanted him here to make each of you Avengers witness his shameful defeat.
Oh, because I broke up the Avengers.
Fool. It was my doing, mine.
He suspected as much, but guilt is one of her weapons.
And now, while this vine of vengeance entwines your life away, I shall be luring Wanda and Quicksilver to similar deadly fates.
Huh. Sorcery. It was her spell that kept me from getting Captain America.
Are we becoming a disgruntled employee? She might want to find a way to gruntle him soon.
Huh? The other two here already?
No, it is far too soon.
It's the last person you'd ever expect, a press agent. He wants to make Power Man rich and famous.
Great story for the papers about you trying to save old Captain America.
Thanks, Fatso, but...
You need me, pal. I can make and break superheroes. We need new blood in the super scene. And that's why I arranged the Avengers' downfall.
In a pig's eye you did. Me and the Enchantress framed the Avengers with spells and illusions.
Fool, be silent.
But he's like someone else we know. He can't shut up. He's telling the whole story, but the Enchantress is sensing something very wrong with this guy's briefcase.
No, be careful. It's coming open.
A tape recorder.
On that tape, he has everything you said.
To prove to the police that the Avengers are innocent.
A disguise? It's
Captain America.
Unlike us, they didn't recognize the voice.
that tape, Power Man. The police must never hear it.
but I'll see that they do. And you'll never stop me, muscle-bound.
Puny blows like that don't hurt me. I'm Power Man.
Strength is fine, but skill counts too.
It can't be. Cap.
He'll be right there. Give him a moment to deal with this costumed oaf.
What was that?
You're hearing things.
Power Man, break free so I can use my sorcery.
He's all yours, lady. I wasn't hearing things.
He can't figure out where Hawkeye is, and Hawkeye's having trouble making any more sounds.
Where's Hawkeye?
He's plant food by now, Blue Boy.
Plus, it's hard to hear much of anything over that. He carries the unconscious Cap to the Enchantress.
Enchantress? Oh no, I didn't realize.
What's the problem? She's probably interrogating him right now.
Please, look, gorgeous, I've got him. I finished him off for you.
And you're going to regret it, musclehead.
You couldn't escape from that strangler of mine.
You can do a lot when it's for a friend.
Not with me, you can't.
You're dealing with a team now. The Avengers are...
Divided no longer.
With the Enchantress out of the fight, he has to rely on that brute strength.
Here's one from me. We're fighting for Cap again.
Talk. I can pull you apart like this.
My hex will stop you.
X? Hey, what's up?
Punch your way out of that, strong man.
Now I'll spin him like a top.
He's pretty well walking sideways when he stops, but he's still determined to win.
What?
Why, you? I can smash all three of you together.
As if his head isn't scrambled enough already.
But not when we are 4 Avengers, united once more. Your plot has failed, Enchantress.
Ha! I, the Enchantress, declare a plague on your teamwork. I shall succeed another day.
And that's that. Hawkeye apologizes, the tape exonerates the Avengers, and all is well. I do like it when the cartoon follows the comic fairly faithfully. The Avengers officially included Iron Man and Thor, and the Enchantress is primarily Thor's enemy, but they were a very fluid organization in the early days. We've seen Giant Man and the Wasp pop in and out. That was how it went with the Avengers. Those who had actual jobs, like Tony Stark and Hank Pym, helped out when they were available. Thor was his own case. The 4 we had today were the core of the team, the professional Avengers, if you will, because this is their main job. This cartoon was well done except for that one spot that I mentioned, and I can let that go by. Now, here's the puzzler. Captain America also had his own comic series alongside the Avengers, but we seem to be doing most of our stories from the Avengers comics. I wonder why. It makes me suspect that someone decided, without Nazis, Cap by himself was too dull.
And besides, the way things turned out, I'd say the Avengers were right on the job, all along.
And he was prone to making hokey speeches like that, so he needs somebody to make them to.
When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who chose to oppose his shield must yield. If he's led to a fight and a duel is due, then the red and the white and the blue will come through when Captain America throws his mighty shield.
Not only that BB. Power Man would rather come on. He and Pietro told him when he's but the Enchantress is sensing. That was a mess.